Welcome back to Inside Tennessee on this Sunday morning. Don Bosch, the candidate's very upfront and transparent, saying there are a lot of big issues facing the city, and they can't all be solved by government. What stood out to you about our conversation?
The similarities, frankly, and what they thought the issues were and their positions. We could have asked so much more, but clearly it almost sounded like they were ready for a living wage, and there are cities in America that have imposed that. I'm not sure that Darin, the newcomer to the bunch, might support that, being a small business owner, but very interesting that they all thought very much the same thing, with the exception maybe of the police chief transparency. And I have mixed views on that as well, but a lot alike. But I think this is really probably just based on money and knowledge in the community, a two-person race. I'm glad that Darin's in this race. I think we need new blood, but it's probably going to come down to Lynne and Cameron.
And it's important to note for our viewers, again, the top two vote getters will move on from the primary in August to the general election in November. Will money matter, do you think, Susan?
Well, it always does. Most of the time it does. There have been a few exceptions, and Mr. Worsham hasn't raised any money, I think. And Lynne, because she's an incumbent and she's served in other offices, has raised the most money. I thought Darin Worsham, I loved what he said about the wants and the needs. I mean, that sort of just succinctly said a lot about our government and what we do at every single level. So good for him for thinking that way and for saying it.
John, we learned this week 106,000 people are registered to vote in the city of Knoxville. The last time we even sniffed 30,000 voters was in 2003, Haslam v. Rajero in the primary. What do you make of that?
People won't be sniffing much in August, I suspect.
I'm not sure the city judge election is going to run a lot of people to the polls.
No, although it's a good one.
It's
fun.
That's the hottest race on the ticket. That's right.
And the mayor's race is fun, too.
It might.
You know, probably not too hot. Okay. Probably not too great.
All right. John North, Susan Williams, Don Bosch. We appreciate the perspective this morning. Always appreciate having you join us on a Sunday morning. We hope you enjoy your coffee and the rest of your Sunday. And if you've missed an Inside Tennessee, you can always find them at WBIR.com, and we'll feature more candidates and more races in the coming weeks.